Journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Welcome, everybody. It's Jackie Bertoni. You're tuned into Jackie's Groove from the Intertalk Radio Network. Hey, guys, it's Monday, August the 1st. It's a warm day outside in Southern California, and we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna make it even hotter here on today's show. You guys, this gentleman that's joining my show today was one of my first 3 interviews when I launched Jackie's Groove back in the first of the year. I can't believe it's blown by this quickly, and proud to say that my good buddy is actually joining the network this coming Wednesday with his own show on Intertalk Radio called Making It with Terry Wollman. There's a spoiler alert, because the person on my show today is not only a dear friend of mine, but a master guitarist, producer, songwriter, an all-around great guy. Please welcome everybody with open arms and open ears to my show, Jackie's Groove. Please welcome Mr. Terry Wollman. Terry, welcome, brother boy.
Thank you, Jackie. It's so nice to be on your show again, and I'm very excited about being one of the hosts on the network. I'm really looking forward to doing this.
Yeah, man, that's the whole thing. The whole thing about our network, of course, is bringing on the notables to share their stories with other notables. And as I said before, when we started talking out, and we're the first one doing this, so we're real proud of it. And Terry, I'm really excited. The whole network has waited with bated breath to find out exactly what you're going to pull off. We know it's going to be greatness. And your first guest coming up this coming Wednesday at 3 o'clock is
somebody very special to me, Melissa Manchester.
Yeah, man. And you produced her last album. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I did. She and I produced it together, and it was her 20th record, and it was and is a beautiful record featuring Stevie Wonder, Al Jarreau, the legendary Joe Sample, who you just heard playing piano on that last cut of mine, and Dave Koz. Who else? Lots of cool people. It was a wonderful experience. But yes, Melissa and I did that record. It's called You Gotta Love the Life. And we're going to talk about not just the record, but the process, the creative process.
Absolutely.
And the how and why.
What was her vibe when you mentioned to her and told her that you actually had your own show coming out on a major network? What was her feedback on that?
Oh, she was very excited and said, "You're going to be perfect for this, and I'd love to be a part of the show. Let me know when." So she was thrilled.
Has that been the overall consensus with the people you've told so far?
Absolutely. Yeah, everybody feels like it's a perfect fit, and they're being very supportive and looking forward to being a guest on my show. And one of the things that I'm excited about, and I gave this a lot of thought, not just about the point of view of the show, which I'll tell you about in a moment, but also the time of the show. I thought it would be really cool to create a trifecta, if you will, with you and JR and myself having all back-to-back shows on Wednesdays. I think it makes for some great listening, afternoon listening on Wednesdays, and also, of course, everybody can check our shows up on the website to hear them at their convenience individually as well.
and Terry, truth be told, don't get cocky with only having a one day a week show. I mean, I started out with that attitude to having a 1 day a week show at 1 hour. Now I'm up to 3 to 4 broadcasts a week. And as those calls start coming in, like Talia said to me in the beginning from 94.7 The Wave, after the first month, she said, you know what, it's going to be really amazing because as the show grows, the phone's going to ring. The phone's going to ring with people saying, hey, man, I want to be on your show. I want to be, or the reference or the referrals. And it's happening. And it's happening at such an alarming pace that it's actually mind-boggling. If you didn't know, a few weeks ago, I was honored by having Mr. Al Jarreau not only on the show, but in my home.
Yes.
And that was definitely a milestone in my musical career and definitely my radio career. So,
he is one of my favorite all-time artists ever to know and work with. I just love him.
What a gentle spirit, man! I heard
Yes.
that he was the salt of the earth, but this man was was beyond that. After talking, I just told him right up front, hey, I'm going to be honest with you, Al. Of everybody I've interviewed thus far, they've all been friends of mine for 25, 30, 35 years. I said, I'm a fanboy of yours. And I said, I'm a little bit nervous. And he remember he just kind of put his mouth to the mic and said, oh, Jackie. and then that was right there. It was like saying, he's no different than anybody else. And he shared his story. He shared his, 50-year career in 2 hours. And again, we could have gone, much farther than that. And when you start interviewing, when you start getting the vibe, I doubt very seriously you're even going to be able to accomplish anything in an hour with Melissa or your other guests itself.
Yeah.
And when you tell somebody, they go, how long of an interview is it? Well, it's 2 hours. What? I said, but you understand something. It goes by, in warp speed. I mean, literally does. And as we said before to every one of my interviewers, they said, even after 2 hours, it seems like it went by in a half hour. So,
I agree. But I'm also looking forward to the challenge of doing it in an hour and being concise, but also insightful and playful at the same time. Keeping it loose, but keeping it moving. And I like the challenge in that. It's like writing a really great pop song in 3.5 minutes.
Sure. And if you have to bring them back, Terry, you can always have that open door policy. We'd love to bring you back and so on. So that's a cool thing. And Terry, with that said, I can tell you all about my great accolades in radio, but I'd only be lying to you because I'm only 6 months into this game. But I'm gonna bring on the CEO, your friend, my friend. He's gonna join us today because he's gonna give some deep insight thoughts more than just two crazy musicians talking. So with that said, Terry, say hello to Mr. Florentino. Florentino, you there, brother?
What's up, Terry?
Hey, Florentino. How are you today?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. I'm excited because this is the start of something special. We did another blast out right before this to let everybody know that there's a special broadcast with a exceptionally special guest because you were transitioning into being part of the Inside family. You've always been part of the extended family with all of our guests. Or once they've been on, once you jumped in, you can never jump out.
Right.
But
I'm in 100%. As a matter of fact, I was in my studio last night doing some edits for the theme music for the show, and
awesome.
With the voiceover. I have a very special guest that. She will be one of the guests on the show, but she is another radio personality, Pat Prescott from The Wave, who did the voiceovers for my show. And,
good. So you got Pat. Good.
Yeah,
I love
Pat's
it.
doing it, and she's looking forward to being on the show. And I was really having a blast putting those edits together for the show, and just getting excited about launching it this week. And
awesome.
And one of the things Florentino and I had spoken about this because I wanted to come up with a different point of view on the show to keep it interesting and complement your show, Jackie, and JR's show, and all the other talented people on the network. And my focus is going to be on the arc of a career and thinking outside of the box and bringing integrity and focus into everything that you do, having fun, what to be true and important in life and in music, and things that are not just the how did it happen, but how did it feel, and the why. What was the process? I'm really, really into the process. I'm very curious about it and want to talk about that with all of the artists and musicians and engineers and producers and music industry people that I bring in. Basically, can I read you my basic mission statement?
Please.
Because this is what helped put it in perspective. Time passes quickly, and I've learned that what we should do, I've learned that we should do what's in our hearts and do it well without apologies or excuses. I recommend creating music in your own unique way and expressing your artistry with joy and abandon. Be willing to work uncompromisingly for what you believe in. Success will have a better chance of finding you when you live your life with integrity, focus, and passion. Be selfish with your discipline and selfless in your performance. And have fun. Remember, it's called playing.
Love it. Absolutely love it, brother.
I want to jump in. We've been actually talking about mission statements for a couple of our other enterprises over here as we start new ventures, going to the new one. So that's kind of apropos that you mentioned. I just want to jump in on that, Jack, because we were chatting in between that we need to steal that mission statement. No, I'm just joking, brother.
Yeah. And Terry, I want to ask you a quick question. You just mentioned a couple, maybe 30 seconds ago, the word arc. Would you please make that more layman and more understandable to the non-musicians out there, or for someone who doesn't understand the word arc?
Yes, what I mean is not just what it takes to have a career and create a career, but to maintain a career from a beginning to an end, to have a goal, to be able to visualize what it is you want to do with your life, finding other people that have already done that so you can use them as a mentor or their career as a template, and then doing the work. Really looking at how to get from point A to point B and C and D while bringing your A game to everything that you do and keeping it alive. A career is a living, breathing organism. It's always evolving, and so is the music industry.
And Terry, speaking of music, there it is. But hey, guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to segue out of one into two with our special in-studio guest and future co-host of New in the Industry, Mr. Terry Wollman, and just Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, Intertalk Radio. Don't go anywhere. So much more to talk about, so much more to dive into. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy Award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, whichwich.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit mozguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on InterTalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
That's absolutely beautiful. Hey, everybody. And those are the string sounds of my special guest, my in-studio guest today, and a new co-host. Strike that, new host on Nerd Talk Radio, Mr. Terry Wollman, and his new show coming up on Wednesday at 3 o'clock called Making It with Terry Wollman. And Terry, before I go a little further, I'm going to do a little bit of business here, and this is something you'll get used to doing this. Everybody, welcome back to Jackie's Groove, and this is Jackie Bertoni, brought to you by InterTalk Radio. You know, everybody, I always, or even before in the infantile stage of my career here, I would be able to give out, maybe go to our website and take a look at, and I would give a list of the shows that are on. There's just too many of them right now. So with that said, do yourselves a favor, do us a favor, and go on to intertalkradio.com and check out the plethora of shows that we have on the marketplace. You know, the who's who of the industry is on here, for shows for gearheads, shows for girls in rock, etc. Do yourselves the favor and sign on. And also do us a favor and go on to Google for Google Play or Apple iStore. Let's try this again. Hi, everybody. Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove. Oh, my God. Do yourselves a favor. Download our app on iTunes and Google Play. I'm looking at all these different things with Terry here, and I got confused. 2 words, InterTalk first, radio second. Take us on the go wherever you go. So with that said, let's go on what we talked about here when we got off this last segment, going into segment number 2 with Terry Wollman, and my co-host today, CEO and founder of InterTalk Radio, Mr. Florentino Buenaventura. Boom, there we are. Hey, Terry, I wanted to say one thing that was really, really cool.
Yes.
We talked about, like, what your show is going to be based upon and so on, and you'll deter here and there like we all do when we talk about this. And then, of course, kind of giving you a case in point, I interviewed Hall of Famer Danny Serafin.
Right.
But before I interviewed Danny Serafin, John, JR interviewed him. And so someone had said to me, I don't remember who it was, but, wow, same artist, same network. I said, okay. They said, but I said, well, there we go. And we just kind of put it in perspective here. Same artist, same network. Two extremely different interviews.
Well, different conversations because there's different people involved. The host is different.
Absolutely, and so that's what the situation is. Where what I don't mind saying, it'd be a great show for you. You should go over to my good friend Terry Wollman and Making It, and that would be good. So we can throw these things back and forth because I don't know your process of calling somebody. I mean, I simply, and I'm sure you do too, pick up the phone and say, hey guys, I have this show coming. I'd love to have you on it. Mm-hmm. And it really, really is. I mean, Florentino, I'm booked up. I think on my Monday show towards the end of the year, and I'm probably all the way into the end of September, if not first part of October, on the Wednesday show.
Actually, we keep doing a lot of special broadcasts.
Right,
because we got a lot of recordings that we're doing too. as things pop up. So you never know, with opportunities. We're going to be taking a trip over to Temecula's wine country and hanging out with Michael McDonald and his band and doing some. These are going to be off air, but we'll obviously make them available through our podcast.
Yeah,
system.
we're going
to get a lot of these opportunities.
Yeah, we got your friend, Mr. Pat Coyle. He's so excited about this, and
he's great.
And Bernie Chiavarelli, and and they're going to get together. We're all going to chop it up, just like we did with the LP and DW show. Mm-hmm. And that's the fun part about also, Terry, about the ability to step out of the studio, and to have Paul and to have Tino bring out the mobile gear, and have that same vibe, that same sound. But actually being in the thick of it. And again, this is coming August 6th, this coming Saturday at Thornton Winery for their jazz series, in which they'll be hosting Michael McDonald, sold-out show. But we'll be there about 1 o'clock in the green room. We're going to be sitting and having fun with the guys and just chopping it up, for the lack of a better word. So,
well, the thing, Jackie, in response to what you just said, is that the thing that makes it work and will make it work is that these conversations, these interviews are conversations that are based on relationships, whether they're new relationships or older ones. So, of course, we share a lot of the same friends and comrades that we've worked with together over the years, but our experiences with them have been different. So we get to, and also our own point of view is different in life. We've had a lot of similar things happen. We've all been on records and toured and done TV, and then, but we've, it's still our own personal experience, and that's the beauty of talk radio, is getting to look through the eyes of the person who's hosting the show to see what they find interesting and what they're curious about. And I'm a very curious person.
And the difference between our two sides of music is that you go in the deep of it. I'm going to go back to your side also. You're a hired grunt also, but if you're not behind the board, you're playing the music itself. But where I am not behind the board. I'm in front of it. I'm performing, and I have one favor to ask of you, my friend. Just like just like JR asked me a few months ago, please don't go after Jerry Hay. And I said no. I said, that's Jerry's your friend. I'll go after Larry Williams and Kim Hutchcroft. And so I'm going to ask you, Terry. And actually, it's too late. I've got Carney coming on, and everybody out there. With our relationship of Terry and myself and my wife Caprice and Melanie Taylor. As just friends. But the thing is, I met Terry years ago when Terry was the musical director for the Byron Allen Show on NBC, which followed, was Carson was at the time, right? It wasn't Leno. Was it Carson still, or was it Leno?
I think we started, no, it was Johnny Carson. Yeah.
Okay, and virtually the same, same studios over there. And Terry had an amazing band there. He was a musical director, and also he was the musical director for the band that I currently work with, Wilson Phillips.
Right.
Which is such a kick in the ass. So yes, Carney is coming on the show.
Good.
Tina, we haven't locked a date in yet because she just came off. She's been sequestered by the Celebrity Apprentice, so she couldn't do anything with relation to anything that's visual or vocal. So she's coming on. So you know what? For you staying there, Wendy's so quiet. So why don't you go after China?
Oh, she's actually has a lot to say. I love all three of them and had such a great experience working with them. But that'd be great. I would love to, and we can see if we can make that happen. Those would complement both of our shows. And of course, I had already thought of Carney as a guest, and then thought, no, she's a better guest for you right now.
Again, once she gets going, who knows? The fact of the matter is she's involved with that. In fact, I'm even having, her boy, her man, her husband.
Yeah.
Rob's going to come on because he's going to, he's the one that has to put up with the girls. I mean, you'll know as well as nobody else knows, but Carney can be a toughie.
Yeah.
And when she's making her music and so on, and you can go on with her great show she had on. I don't know what was on the. I don't know what station it was, but her and Rob in the studio and yelling at each other, which is a normal thing for producer and artist, and then, of course, husband and wife. So with that said, let me ask you a question. What does your better half think about this whole situation, Melanie Taylor?
Melanie thinks it's great. She really encouraged me to say yes to doing this because she knows that I'm a people person and that I also love sharing stories with people and so she encouraged me to think about how I could bring my own point of view to it and help me develop the idea. And she's excited. She, of course, will be one of my guests, and I'm looking forward to talking to her and kind of bringing to light some of the things that I know just from knowing her personally.
I loved our interview. Our interview her and I had. It was so enlightening. This girl's intelligence level was far superior than mine, but we just had a great time. One of my wife's favorite interviews. I mean, a girl, and who knows? Maybe there's a home here on Intertalk for Melanie Taylor.
Yeah, maybe she could do a yoga talk.
We talked about that.
She's big on that. She's big on that. Hey, I wanted to kind of chime in here with something you said earlier, especially through your mission statement there.
Yes, Tina.
Terry. Mm-hmm. One of the things that is powerful about this, and we've talked about this in our conversations about brainstorming about this show, paying it forward. And I think one of the key things and why we created this network in the first place is that relationships are more and more important today in the music business than they have ever been, because it's not about competition. It's not about trying to beat somebody out. It's about everybody leveraging together to keep the business kind of intact, because probably the unified thing we get from all interviews is it's a different world. No one's certain. The uncertainty is just really kind of permeates everything that's going on in this business, because how do you make money in this business? It's not the same way. You know, you can have millions of listens and get $500. You know, that kind of thing is definitely the case. So it's all about leveraging relationships and building relationships that can foster a lifetime of careers, and about all the things that we see where some of the younger listeners that are here right now, as they start off in the business, to maintain good rapport with everybody that you start off with, because those people might very well be huge players in the business. Case in point, I met John Paris from Earth, Wind and Fire when we were kids. Right. And I've seen him play first time with a young lady who became a big recording artist. Karen
White.
Karen White. There we go. I had a brain fart right there. So I seen her first performance, and she was not a player at that time. She was just starting to get into the business. Yeah. And those people kind of they move up, and creating those relationships are huge.
Kids, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in real quick. I'm going to interrupt both of you guys because we're coming out of this segment. Terry, I'm going to talk to you about this red flashing light and what Paul's, our audio engineer, what he described it, and then not to be afraid of it. So with that said, coming out of 2, going into 3 with my in-studio guest, Mr. Terry Wollman. This is Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove, Intertalk Radio. Guys, don't go anywhere. This is blowing up. Terry, we needed more time than 1 hour. Trust me when I tell you again. Guys, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm here.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Mo's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit mosguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pit Bull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pit Bull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pit Bull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pit Bull Audio. We want you to play it loud. pitbullaudio.com.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Obrigado from the fingers of my in-studio guest, Mr. Terry Wollman. And Terry, that is actually Terry's theme song for his new talk show coming up on Wednesday, 3 o'clock on our talk radio called Making It with Terry Wollman. So great tune, man. I was over here playing shakers in my studio. Not as prolific as your harmonica playing in the background there. And that's an inside joke from all of us. Exactly. Right. Hey, Terry, I want to, we spoke about Wade Taylor. Definitely yes. an old dog and an old trade called radio. Yeah. An amazing mentor. It taught me a lot in such a short period of time. And then fast forward to moving into Florentino, who is the old dog in the new venue and new trajectory we're going in with Intertalk Radio. And then also Paul, who's the man responsible for not bumping the board. That's something else we'll talk about also. And the cool thing about this is that I was really, really nervous when I first started out because on your Join Me, our clock that we all share for the segments of the show, when it gets to a 1 minute countdown, it starts to, your eyeballs kind of go over there and you're trying to not ask a question that's going to require a 3-minute answer.
Right,
and you
or
only have,
step on your guest and interrupt
exactly
an important point of view. Yeah,
and what I do, Terry, is like I always tell everybody else. Okay, Terry, this is it's a 2-hour interview. It's 8 segments of 12 minutes long, 3-minute commercials. So if I do interrupt you at all times, please forgive me because we have to segue out. And so then Paul taught me one thing that I love the term. It was not that he taught me; he kind of threatened me. He told me that the flashing red light is not a self-destruct button. And that just simply means it's just kind of giving us leeway what's going out. So I've learned, but as Florentino says, almost seamlessly to transition out of it is when it gets to about 10 seconds. Then your mind's going to start working. Okay, they're in the middle of a talk and so on. Get down to 3 seconds. As soon as you hear the music, it doesn't take much to say. We'll be right back from this is Terry Wollman from Making It,
right.
Blah 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 blah, and so on. Because when that song stops, you're off the air.
Right.
And and that's something that it's learned. I was stepping all over myself, but it becomes very, very easy. And that clock is your best friend. And even when we're doing remote things, and the clock's no clock in front of me, you can always look to Florentino to the right or Paul to the left, and look at you with the hand of 5 seconds going. So you need to wrap it up and reel it in. So
got it. Yeah.
And with that said, and we also too, Terry, it always takes a lot to keep this ship afloat, and so we have to we have to sit there and we have to thank our sponsors. And I'm just going to kind of go off cue here. And our sponsors are responsible for keeping this crazy ship afloat.
Yeah.
Sponsors like Pitbull Audio and Kelvin Lee and the gang at Pitbull Audio on www.pitbullaudio.com, where they just want you to play it loud. Our friends at SIR, Studio Instrument Rentals, and you're overly familiar with that, Terry. Of course, the best when it comes to backline and rehearsal studios. You can visit them at sir-usa.com. And other sponsors such as Vader Drumsticks, Vader Percussion, who's been giving me my wood. Didn't come out right, did it? Who's been supplying me with my drumsticks for the past 20 years. Also, DW Drums at dwdrums.com, and that's all the boys over at Drum Workshop. Don Lombardi, John Good, and Derek Zimmerman, brand manager over at LP Music, and that's lpmusic.com, who I've been with for 27 years. So that's how we thank them. That's how we extract money from them, and that's how we promote, all the way around. So,
right.
With that said, Tino, jump in here and talk to the new boy on the block.
Hey, yes. Definitely sponsors are very important for us. But we look at it more as partners, really, because we share in the mission of spreading this, this word about the industry and kind of touching back based on why we do what we do. Our whole goal is to help this industry grow to this next level. And I feel honored and blessed to have you gentlemen here as part of this first wave of key players in the industry, making a difference, partnering with our good friends over at the NAMM organization. Mm-hmm. So, in fact, we're going to be meeting with them this week to get prepared for this new Winter NAMM that's coming up, which is just going to be overly exciting. They've actually had record turnouts the past couple of years, and we've been to the Summer NAMM, we go to the Winter NAMM, we do broadcasts right from the venues, and we've got some exciting things coming up. We're not going to let all the secrets out of the bag today, but let's just say that there's going to be some special things Intertalk's doing at the NAMM show this year. So that's going to be some of the things. So we look at working hand in hand with all the players in the industry that are trying to really elevate it to this next level as it's starting to. I kind of look at it as it's now in its caterpillar stage where the cocoon where it's going to come out as a butterfly. I think the next generation of what this industry is going to be is actually going to be something special because it is a bit more open, for people to get their messaging and their music and everything else out. But I also think it's something that there's going to be some things develop. In fact, you and I were talking about that, Terry. And what's your thoughts right now on the industry, where it's going, and what can people expect to learn by listening to your show?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I appreciate you say that our shows are about making a difference. I think that's the common thread between all of us, and that's the intention in which I said yes to doing this show. I think that, this ever-changing landscape of the music business, we are all making it up as we go along. And in a way, I think it's like being a parent, and when we were kids growing up and our parents said, gave us a piece of information or a command, and we thought they knew everything and had reasons for everything. And as we get older, we find out that they were making it up as they went along and how to raise their kids. And I think that kind of attitude is necessary and prevalent, and that goes for all of the artists, from the artists like Melissa Manchester, whose 20th record I just made, to people that are just starting out. Right. It's got to be all-encompassing. In other words, I don't get to just be a guitar player anymore or an arranger or a record producer. I also had to learn engineering skills, and I've had to learn about marketing and artwork and graphic design and mastering and promotion and things like that, that typically, or not typically, but when I started, I didn't know that I was going to become an expert in things that I didn't consider to be really that important to my contribution and my responsibility in the record industry. But the bottom line is it hasn't hurt me. It's enhanced me. My ability to be at a mixing board and be involved in helping engineer a project make it much easier when I'm on stage. I did a concert at the Laguna Festival of Arts a couple of days ago, and there was a frequency with the microphone, the vocal mic wasn't sounding as good as it should on stage. And I basically said, why don't you, just to the engineer, I said, why don't you look at rolling off about 10K? That might be, and he goes, I was thinking the same thing. And bam. Now, 20 years ago, that wouldn't have been in my vocabulary.
See, I would have had a different vocabulary. I would have been screaming at the top of my lungs as only percussionists can do.
Right. Yeah.
I can't hear myself.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That would, it's whatever works for the situation. And I've certainly not at a loss for yelling at people, but I like to save that for, it's got more impact when I don't do it very often. But I think, even like the second week of my show, I'm going to have Alan and Marilyn Bergman as my guest, which is going to be incredible. I just produced a song that Alan and Marilyn Bergman wrote with Dave Grusin, and so I'm really excited to bring their point of view to our audience. But the following week, I'm interviewing a radio promotion person who I work with named Jason Garoff, and they've got countless Billboard top 10 hits, for many, many years. And I think it's going to be interesting to get their perspective. So it's not just about the playing aspect of the music business because from where I sit as a record producer, as a recording artist, as a guitarist, as a composer, as an arranger, all the things that I do, moving from, being at the front of the stage to, as you said before, Jackie, me being a hired gun and being in a band and working with other people, all of those skills, I want to introduce to my audience some of the people that I work with that influence me and teach me about the many things that are critical and essential to maintaining your place in the ever-changing landscape of the music business.
Staying relevant, my friend.
Yes.
And check this out now. Now the light's flashing right now, Terry. It's actually it's red. It's not flashing. So I'm thinking about my next question. I wanted to tell you actually something I wanted to share with you, an anecdote about Howard Stern in a great article in the New York Times about 2 months ago. But I want to share that with you. I've shared it with a lot of artists on there, and it really applies to the success of our network. So with that said, rolling out of 3 into 4 with my in-studio guest, Mr. Terry Wollman, and my co-host, Mr. Florentino Buenaventura, Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove. Stay tuned for segment 4. We're going to roll it up and reel it all in for the last hour here. Lots to catch up on, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear. Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Mo's Guitarist has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit mozguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Hey, it's Tracy Smith
and Beth Venus
of Girls Talk Rock right here on the Intertalk Radio Network.
Every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Okay, Beth, they know that, but we want you to know that the industry pro's choice is Silver Tiger Production.
SDP is a full-service production agency offering sound, lighting, installations, talent buying, staffing, backline equipment rental, and sales. Kapow!
It's everything in the entertainment performance industry. It's all that. SilverTigerProduction.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking for a waiter to order up a nice daiquiri. Because I feel like I'm on a beach right now, kicking back and listening to Mr. Terry Wollman and his amazing music, a music that I've been fans of and actually had the opportunity to play many times on stage with this man. So, guys, welcome back to Jackie's Groove, Jackie Bertoni, Intertalk Radio, with my in-studio guest, Mr. Terry Wollman. And not only is he a studio guest, but he's the new host of his own show called Making It with Terry Wollman, Wednesday at 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Intertalk Radio. Hey, Terry, welcome back. Tino, welcome back. You know, I wanted to tell you, it's the same story I've told over and over again, and I love it because somebody had brought to Howard Stern a letter, or excuse me, an article from the New York Times. So obviously it wasn't some kind of a rag magazine. And they're talking about the fact about, I think I'm going to paraphrase it. It said, Intertalk Radio, strike that. Yeah, Internet radio, Internet talk radio. A force to be reckoned with. And Howard said, why wouldn't it be? He goes, look at your dashboard on your car. There's two things. There's terrestrial radio, which in 5 years is going to be a signal, and Sirius XM. And the bottom line is, he said when the average subscriber to Sirius is paying about $150 a year, you as a family, you as an individual, you're already paying an internet company provider, Warner Brothers, Time Warner, I should say, Verizon, etc. So with the advent of Bluetooth and streaming, you can take internet radio anywhere you want to go at no additional cost. So how can it not be successful? And I'm beside myself with excitement. And Terry, you are too. You know, we make sure we make sure we fully vet what we're getting involved in. We don't want to get into something that's going to be bad for our name. I don't need anybody else's help to make my name bad. You know, and but the fact of the matter is, I've been approached, over the time, and Tino knows that I've been approached by a couple of different radio shows, online radio shows, and understand, Terry, this is not a podcast. This is a true network show.
Right. Yes.
And and so With that said, Tino, what can he expect in his infantile stage, the first 30 days, his first 4 shows?
Well, I think what he's going to expect and what he'll be delivered is the highest level of production services. One of the things we've done is we started off on WS Radio Networks, which many people don't know, but we started off with WS Radio Networks, and they've been a partner with us through this whole process. And Wade Taylor, the CEO specifically,
right.
That network's been around for 14 years. Was basically almost one of the icons that invented radio on the internet back in the early parts of the 2000s, and from there the everything's state of the art. So we're not just plugging in a laptop and everything's a go. We're using state of the art broadcast equipment. We do at least with WS Radio side, they syndicate out to terrestrial stations in Atlanta and Chicago to go along with all the internet broadcasting. So we can still partner and pair with all those. But that's the first thing that we look at is that quality of service and delivery that you would expect at any terrestrial station. We're delivering that. The second thing that you look at is we're building a strong community and the ties that we have within that community. One of the reasons why we have a network, which I identified early on when I started my radio show on WS Radio Network, is that for this to really work and to help impact the industry in the way it needs to be impacted, we needed to band together. We needed to be a bunch of really passionate people with a voice and a insight into the industry that could effectually make a change. And I think that with Terry being on board with us here, that just amplifies what we do in such a great level. And that's what we're doing with all the different show hosts that come on board as become part of the inner circle of the family. And we look at the rest of the industry as the extended part of the family, whether you're a guest or whether you're a listener, that we're all part of this wonderful world of music. And that, I think every one of us would do this, be players, would be part of this, even if we weren't, getting a financial reward to it. But fortunately, and with the benefit, we were able to do this, and everyone's here still making a good living at being in the business. So that's all part of what we could all expect is the camaraderie, the teamwork. It's like what you would find in a band.
Right.
You find the good chemistry of all the players that are in the group. In fact, it's kind of ironic. What we need to do is get a bass player and a keyboard player, and then we've got a full, incredible band with, percussion, drums, guitar, the whole 9 yards. So as things go along, we're slowly and surely building in different focuses of the verticals. And with that said, the voice that EnterTalk is able to help with Terry's natural messaging of positivity in the business,
right?
Professionalism. We're going to help amplify that, and I think that's going to be a nice piece of that. That you'll find that when you go out and talk to people about being part of the EnterTalk Radio Network and being part of this family, that wow, you're part of that group that's really making and effectuating a change in the business, and we appreciate that. We get that all the time, and you're going to find that that's going to be the case. And in fact, Jackie's probably the first one to tell you that no one looks at him as a percussionist anymore. They're like, that's the radio show host, Jackie Bertoni.
Yeah, and Terry, that's what's really, really weird. I was at, we were at Newport Jazz Festival. Talia was the host, and I'm going through the crowd, and usually people would say, hey, man, I really enjoy your percussion on this album. I like watching you live. But people are literally yelling out, man, and one guy yelled out in expletive, man, we love your effing show. And I was with I was with Tris and Wally with Chicago a couple weeks ago out at the Harrah's Rincon in San Diego. And people are walking out saying, hey, man, we really, really enjoyed the show, man. We'd love to be on the show.
Nice.
And so with that said, in the last minute and 40, Terry, step away from the board, step away from your harmonica, and step away from your guitar. Mm-hmm. Any questions you want to ask the CEO or another fledgling artist? Any questions that are burning in your mind right now?
Oh, I love that.
To put me on the spot.
On the spot?
There you go.
Yeah, I think that one of the things I'm even noticing from today, that this hour is flying by. And I guess one of the tips that I had already gotten from you guys, but you could expound on this a little bit more, is just to stay present and to listen and to be on my toes and to be thinking and writing down questions as we go pertinent to the conversation, but not expect to get them all in. So what's your here's my question to you. What's the best way to segment the show? You know, how do you view it so that there's a good 4 sections or 4 chapters of the story?
Well, I'm going to start right there. Therein lies a 3-minute answer on 30 seconds left.
That's right.
So, in closing, Tino, jump in here real quick. You know what? Just what feels good for yourself. Be the artist that you are. Stay relevant. Deal with what feels comfortable with you. Listen to the interview. Listen to how it goes along. Feel the vibe from that person, and you're going to feed off that person that you're talking to. That's the bottom line on that.
And I think I was going to just jump in. It's all about storytelling. So,
bottom line,
basically pulling that story out of your guest the way you would normally do in a conversation, putting them first, making the interest focus on them. That always works, and then it will all happen naturally, organically. You'll find that these segments will build out through all of that.
Great,
love you
thank
both.
you. Love it.
Everybody, tune in Wednesday, 3:00. Making It with Terry Wollman, Jackie Bertoni, Jackie's Groove. Guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back at the next show with Tamara Champlin.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Kitt Mo Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Kitt Mo Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Kitt Mo Audio can help make it happen. We are Kitt Mo Audio. We want you to play it loud. KittMoAudio.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to record on a Grammy award-winning album? Have you ever wondered what it's like to play in front of a stadium crowd? Have you ever wondered what it's like to be on a world tour? I'm Jackie Bertoni, and I've played with the who's who in the music industry, and I've toured the world. Come join my world, behind the velvet rope, and get into the groove on Jackie's Groove. Live 2 p.m. Mondays and available 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Mo's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit mozguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element, affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs. Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at which.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICHWICH. Which.com.